He was a man who rose from nothing to become the most powerful ruler in Europe, a military genius, a revolutionary leader, and a conqueror feared by kings. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who changed the world forever. Born in 1769 on the island of Corsica, Napoleon was an outsider in France, but he had one goal: to rise above everyone else. With his sharp mind and ambition, he joined the French military academy and quickly proved himself as a brilliant strategist. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted, overthrowing the monarchy. France was in chaos, but for Napoleon, it was an opportunity. At just 24 years old, he led the French army to victory at Toulon, earning him the rank of general. His rise to power had begun. In 1798, Napoleon launched an invasion of Egypt, hoping to weaken British influence. Though the campaign had setbacks, it made him even more famous.
France is adrift. Weak men squabble over power while our enemies circle. I offer you strength. I offer you stability. France needs a firm hand, a guiding light. I will be that hand. I will be that light.
France was struggling under weak leadership. So in 1799, Napoleon staged a coup d'etat, overthrowing the government and declaring himself first consul. By 1804, Napoleon had crowned himself emperor, refusing to let the Pope place the crown on his head. It was clear he answered to no one. At the Battle of Austerlitz, 1805, Napoleon crushed the Russian and Austrian armies in one of the greatest military victories in history. His empire stretched across Europe, but not everyone was willing to bow to the French emperor. At Trafalgar, the British Navy, led by Admiral Nelson, destroyed Napoleon's fleet, forcing him to abandon his dream of invading Britain. Instead, he launched the Continental System, trying to economically strangle Britain. But this would be one of his biggest mistakes. In 1812, Napoleon made his greatest mistake, invading Russia with 600,000 troops. The Russians refused to fight, retreating and burning their own cities to starve the French army. When Napoleon reached Moscow, he found it in flames. With winter approaching and supplies running out, he was forced to retreat. His once great army was destroyed. Only 100,000 soldiers survived. Seeing their chance, Britain, Russia, Austria, and Prussia united against him. At the Battle of Leipzig, 1813, Napoleon suffered his worst defeat. In 1814, Napoleon was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the island of Elba. But the world had not seen the last of him.
France, they need me.
Halt, who goes there?
Soldiers of France, it is I, Napoleon, your emperor.
After just 10 months, he escaped, returned to France, and reclaimed power in what became known as the 100 Days. But his comeback was short-lived. At Waterloo, 1815, Napoleon faced his final battle against the Duke of Wellington and the Prussian army. Despite his genius, he was defeated. He was captured and exiled again, this time to St. Helena, a remote island in the middle of the ocean. There, far from the world he once ruled, Napoleon spent his final years, until his death in 1821. Though defeated, Napoleon's legacy still lives on. And so Bonaparte, facing a numerically superior force at Austerlitz, feigned weakness on his right flank, drawing the enemy into a trap. A masterpiece of deception and maneuver. his use of terrain, his understanding of enemy psychology, unparalleled. But, sir, wasn't it reckless had the Russians not taken the bait? Reckless cadet? Perhaps, but genius often borders on recklessness. Bonaparte dared to gamble, and he won. That, gentlemen, is the difference between a competent officer and a legend. And therefore, Your Honor, Article 223 of the Napoleonic Code clearly states that all citizens are equal before the law. This principle, enshrined over 2 centuries ago, remains the cornerstone of our legal system. With all due respect, Counsel, the Napoleonic Code, while foundational, is not without its limitations. Times have changed. Society has evolved.
The court recognizes the historical significance of the Napoleonic Code. Its applicability in this specific case is what we must determine.
His military strategies are studied in academies worldwide. His Napoleonic Code shaped modern legal systems, and his story remains one of the most legendary rises and falls in history. Napoleon once said, "Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever." He may have lost his empire, but his name will never be forgotten. What do you think? Was Napoleon a hero or a tyrant? Let us know in the comments.